Hey guys, Micah here. I'm in my house, in my kitchen. We're here for a reason. I'm going to show you that in a minute, but first I want to tell you something. A lot of my favorite stories in Scripture are when Jesus gets a little bit sarcastic with people. I know it's tempting for us to think Jesus was always just very nice to everybody, but sometimes he got right to it. And there's this great story in John where Jesus has just fed the 5,000. He's fed everybody bread and fish, and there's been this cool thing. And then the people start following him again, and they come after him. He goes places, and people show up because they're looking for a meal, right? And so Jesus goes, and he's there, and these people show up. The crowds come to him. They're like, "Hey, tell us, teach us. We want to hear your teaching." He says, "Do you really, though? Do you really want to hear my teaching?" "Oh, yeah, we're way into what you're teaching." He says, "You're not here because," this is in John 6, he says, "You're not here because you want to hear what I'm saying. You're here because people came to hear me yesterday and they got fed, and you're just here for the food. But I'm going to tell you about the real food that you want." And they're like, "Please give us the real food, just like you did yesterday." He says, he has this great passage in John 6. He says, "Very truly I tell you, it's not Moses who's given you bread from heaven, but it's my Father who gives you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is the bread that comes down from heaven and gives life to the world." "Sir," they said, "always give us this bread." Then Jesus declared, he said, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me never goes hungry. Whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." And that passage and that promise is one that I love. Now, sometimes, I don't know what your pandemic cooking's been like, right? Sometimes we're kind of eating the same thing again and again and again, right? And it gets a little bit old. But what Jesus says, he says, I'm the true meal. Like, you're going to eat food for the body, and that's a good thing. But really, the thing that's going to sustain you through pandemic is not whether you have enough groceries or enough frozen corn dogs. That's my family's favorite. My kid's favorite is frozen corn dogs. Whether you have enough frozen corn dogs in the freezer, or whether, that's not what's going to sustain you. What's going to sustain you is this meal, is do you have me? I'm the meal that's going to sustain you. And so that's the daily bit of dose that I want to tell you. But since we are talking about bread, and since we are talking about food, I thought I'd show you real quick one of my family's favorite food recipes, and this is a pumpkin or a sweet potato bread. Now, if you've got like an Instant Pot or something, or you can roast sweet potatoes, then you get some sweet potato mash, that works. Or, where'd I put it? We are a big fan of the Micah pumpkin puree, which is what I'm going to use today. So I went ahead, because it's not a cooking show, you didn't come to see me dump ingredients, but the instructions for this are going to be in the description. It's very, very simple, very straightforward. Basically, we've got some flour, some salt, some baking soda in here, and then I'm just going to put in some pumpkin pie spice, because pumpkin spice is good in everything. That's my theory. All right, so we've got two sets of ingredients. We've got our dry ingredients here. Dry. We've got another bowl with our wet ingredients here, and that's got sugar and brown sugar, 2 eggs, oil, some vanilla, and then the secret ingredient, some puree or mashed pumpkin or sweet potato, whatever it is that you're using. So this goes into here. It does not look even a little bit appetizing. That's okay. It's like, oh yeah, that just looks delicious. We're just gonna, if I can get it, there we go. We're going to mash that up, mix it up, and then all these wet ingredients, once they're all nicely mixed, are going to get dumped right into, mixing that there. All right, all these wet ingredients are going to get dumped right into the dry ingredients. Man, I'm not a TV chef. Cooking in front of a camera is actually more stressful than I would have imagined. I've got to make everything right. All the stuff in my kitchen that normally goes all over my countertops is all on my kitchen table right now, so it looks like I've got a really well put together kitchen. So I'm going to mix this up, and this is a little bit of flour there. This is absolutely something you can make at home today, or whenever the next time you visit Kroger and pick up some pumpkin puree is, or Meijer. Hey, I'm not. So, and I'm just going to put that. That looks great, and it smells really good. It smells like a pumpkin pie, but it's not pie, it's bread. My sons think this is the bread of life right here. So, I'm going to cook it in a cast iron skillet. It doesn't have to be a skillet. I just like cooking it in a cast iron skillet because I think it looks cool and tastes good. So, I just oiled the skillet just a little bit, and all this is about to go in here. It's about to go in that oven, and then we'll pick it back up in about 30 minutes when it's done cooking. See you in a minute. All right, unfortunately we don't have smell-o-vision, so you can't smell how amazing it smells in our kitchen right now, but trust me, it is awesome. So I'm gonna kill my heat. I'm going to not burn myself on the cast iron skillet, right? Pull this bad boy out, and that looks amazing. I sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon and sugar on top of it. You don't need to do that, but it never hurts anything, right? So this is what it looks like. I'll post a picture as well of what it looks like after I slice it, but it's here and it's delicious. So I'm looking forward to eating it. I hope that you guys enjoy this, but most of all, I hope that you guys connect with the bread of life during pandemic.